Yo, it's me. Don't mind the hair day. I'm having one. At least I have my hair. At least I have what's left of it. It is hunting season. What happens every hunting season? For some reason, every year it's hunting season, I get a sty in my eye. Almost always it's left, but now it's the right. A sty. Every hunting season, my eye swells shut. Explain. There's been so much vandalism going on the past 4 or 5 days. It's just horrific. It's just unbelievable. It's not unbelievable. It's just overwhelming. It's overwhelming. Got a lot to say. I'm in a lot of pain. Thank the Lord I'm going to be healed in Jesus' name. I told you guys about the pallet jack injury to my knee. Back when I was like 18, 19, right before my daughter was born. I was working at Thomas and Howard in the freezer picking groceries. Pinned my knee against a pallet, against the rat pallet rack, and it crushed my knee. And I lived with that for about 10 years, and God healed it. Just overnight, it just stopped hurting. Well, my knee was re-injured when I was slammed the other week, so now it's got a bad pop. Now when I go to walk, it goes crack, crack, crack. So I've got some praying for God to heal me on that. My whole body's out of alignment where I was slammed on my hip, so I'm dealing with a lot of that. And you guys know, you see my shoulder just pop out many times before. And when I get slammed, and I just prayed for God to heal my shoulder, and my shoulder was finally healed. And then boom, here we start all over again with getting slammed. That's the devil. Anyway, got a lot to say. I made a video a minute ago with planes going overhead, but it did screen, it did regular mode instead of panoramic. So I had to redo. I had one answer. I don't understand. How do I have 863 subscribers, but I can't get but one comment on a post? Is it all fake? Is it just fake? So I don't have but 3 subscribers? I don't understand. I mean, we've seen when the algorithm frees me, I can get 3,000 people to a live stream. But when the algorithm's locked down, I don't get but 7. Free, and I don't know if you guys have been watching. There are some of the dumbest people on the left. Like Destiny's one. If you don't know YouTube, then you don't know. But Destiny's one, he's a cuck. He enjoys taking penis in his rectum and watching his wife get railed by other dudes. Well, she got tired of being with him, so she left him for a man. He's always bashing. He just thinks he knows everything. He thinks he's the cat's meow when it comes to politics, and he's really just stupid. He's still claiming insurrection all these years later when no one's been convicted of insurrection. Everything he says is straight lie from the butthole of Bezos and the Washington Post. Everything out of his mouth is Washington Post. Everything. There's him. Oh, there's so many. There's David Pakman. He is... The problem with these people are these boys have too much soy in their diet. There's David Pakman. He's same talking points. And he hides his disgust and disdain for us by pretending to be polite. Even though he said some really inflammatory statements like, I can't remember, like we're too stupid to vote. We shouldn't be allowed to vote because we're stupid. He says very, very, very nasty, horrible things. There's another guy, and Kyle Kuklinski. He is far left. Wacko. He was a Trump guy, and then he just went far left because he gets paid to be. Because his girlfriend or wife is far left. So he's not going to bite the girlfriend that wields the male genitalia. But I was listening to a channel called Cash like money, Cash and Jordan. And this guy, I don't want to say he's down the middle, but he lives in New York City, and he's been doing a lot of reporting on the migrant crisis. Of course, he calls them migrants and asylum seekers. He uses all the appropriate terminology. He speaks the truth with a whole bunch of incorrect adjectives. He's like, now New York is busing the migrants back to Texas. I pray that Donald Trump's going to do what he says he's going to do. And he did a lot in his first time in there. But this lesson will not be learned without punishment. And I don't think that the government should punish its people except when they give aid and comfort to the enemy. When they take it in their hands to do treasonous acts like mass invasion. I don't know if you guys watched the news about Springfield, Ohio, when they were talking about the dogs are being eaten and they're eating ducks and geese and they're eating cats and there's no wild animals walking around now because the bikers ate them all. People, mostly white folks, who had been renting, long-term renters at reasonable rates, like $600 to $800 a month, were booted out of their homes. They didn't violate a lease. They didn't break the law. They kept their bills paid. Kicked out of their places because these landlords realized, oh, wait a second, I can put 20 Haitians in here and make $20,000 a month. The law I just quoted, giving aid and comfort to the enemy. In my mind, you can't just turn off the faucet, the spigot, as we call it in the South. You can't just turn off the spigot. You got to charge for the water they used. Meaning, any person that hired illegal aliens, that business needs to be fined. And I know this is going to hurt a lot of business, but it's not going to hurt the ones that were playing by the rules. Any leasing agency, any landlord-tenant relationship that rented or leased a home to illegal alien, the money that was paid to them by that illegal alien, you got to pull it back. It's got to come back because that was American tax dollars. We have to reach out with a magnet and anything that had illegal alien DNA touching it, anything that had the markings of the invaders on it must be pulled back and put back into the coffers. Any homes purchased by illegal aliens with tax dollars needs to be taken back. The banks need to be fined. The money needs to go back to the government. The homes should be auctioned off. Auction them off. Not paid in full, but auction it off and make that bank finance it under average terms, not better than average, not lower than average, but average terms, 7% average, should be forced. And I know this is breaking a lot of social norms, but we're in a different situation now. There has to be punishment. Homes and cars that illegal aliens bought with tax dollars should be held at an auction and auctioned off. That money sent back to the taxpayers. Banks that supported Bank of America as being the number one, who gave illegal aliens money to prop up their books, they should be fined and that money go back. When we use all the money collected from charging for the faucet when it was running, all that money should go to fund the deportation. This is how you build the wall. This is how you deport without funding the government again, is we take back all that money and we send all that money back to Secure America agenda. Name it the Secure America Act. You fine them, they ain't got the money to pay, then they're going to be put to labor. I know labor camps, oh, that sounds scary. But these people tried to use Saul Alinsky's rule for radicals to overthrow the American nation. Are you hearing me? This is no different than giving missiles to the enemy and saying, here you go, like Joe Biden did. Joe Biden should be brought up on charges of treason. Absolutely. Absolutely. Anyone that approved giving arms walking out of Afghanistan. Every general, I pray that Donald Trump's going to fire them immediately. I think it's going to happen. But anybody that gave aid and comfort to the invaders, sorry, a reckoning's coming. The money's got to come back to the Secure America agenda. The Secure America Act. We're going to fine you. We're going to take your goods. We're going to take your money. We're going to put that back where it belongs, back to the taxpayers, because it's our money. It's our money got stolen. Any of these landlords that price gouge just to put Haitians in their homes, sorry. You're going to bring that money back with interest. And if you don't have the money, you can't pay by a certain term. You saw that your greed, your love of money to put out American citizens and help finance your lifestyle on the back of invaders, your property should be auctioned off. And whatever amount you took, you take it off that auction and you get what's left. I'm not one to give government more power. But it's time we use the power the government already has effectively. That's my immigration. That's how I fix immigration right there. Build the wall, cut off all visas. No more visas. We need to not only go after the illegal aliens, we need to go after anyone that come over the last 20 years. Reagan gave asylum. Anybody that came after that, the Dreamers, you got to go. You got to go, Jack. I was going to say something else and I just lost it. The people that overstayed their visas, revoke their visas immediately, deport them, and a non-return order for the next 20 years. If they want to wait 20 years, they can reapply. You going back. Got to be a waiting period. You overstayed your time. I don't get to go. What do I not get to do? Because I don't do nothing. I don't get to set a vacation for the beach and go to the beach and hang out and then say, well, I know my money run out, but I'm going to stay here for 3 more years and you're going to foot the bill. It don't work like that. It's time that everybody's held to the same standard. The Secure America Act will fund itself. Cars, we auction them off. Houses, we auction them off. Any goods, we auction them off. That money's coming back. Any money that made it back into the Democrats' hands from arms sold in Afghanistan, that money's got to come back. This sending money overseas so it can get washed and then sent back to Democrats, that's got to stop. We'll move on. Let's move on to the federal courts. Donald Trump now sees how corrupt the federal courts are. The federal courts have a 98% conviction rate. That's unreal. That's impossible. In a court of law, it is impossible to have a 98% conviction rate. We need to put in new regulations that the feds are no longer allowed to stack the charges. They are no longer allowed to say, well, you could spend a year in prison if you plead guilty even though you're innocent, or we'll put you in jail for 50 years. You watch these January 6 people, these political prisoners, it is ungodly what's been done to them. Every judge and DA, let me not skip forward, whoever did that to these prisoners, the jails, the federal pen in Washington, they need to be removed from office. We need to remove judicial immunity. No more are judges allowed to be corrupt. No more. Judicial immunity out the window. DAs that have unlawfully attacked Donald Trump, no more judicial immunity. No more. We need to have an unbiased federal court that judges judges and judges district attorneys. Like states have their Supreme Court, we need to have an unbiased one. I don't think that our Supreme Court has enough time to do it. So I don't know how you'd go with the picking process. That's got to be fixed. There are too many judges running crazy over people, just like they did Donald Trump. They changed the laws to take take down Donald Trump. Judicial immunity, gone. DA immunity, gone. If they have malicious intent, they should be removed from office the very first time. We don't wait 5 times. Well, they got a history of doing this. No. If you're willing to take away someone's freedom unlawfully, you got to go. We cannot trust you any longer. I hope I get the rest of it because I had a whole bunch all over me that I needed to say. So much that can be done through regulation. And Donald Trump hates regulation, but I do too. It has to be changed. We cannot have this lawfare in America. All these judges that attacked Alex Jones, who didn't break the law, they got to go and they need to be fined. They need to be incarcerated. The judges that went after Roger Stone for not breaking the law, they need to be incarcerated. All these judges that use lawfare, the law is the only thing we stand on in America. And that's the greatest threat to America. Also, the social media companies who kowtowed to the Biden administration and the FBI in the last 12 to 15 years, every one of those companies should be fined. Fine them. You take that money and put that into either the Immigration Fund, the Secure America Fund, or put it into the Free Speech Alliance Act, where we bolster free speech. I'm going to say something that may hurt Donald Trump's feelings when it comes to this Free Speech Act. This is another act I'm talking about. The Free Speech Act. Anyone, any government agency that colluded, that person needs to be fired immediately. Any person that gave the social media agencies, anybody that contacted social media and told them what to print or what not to print or what to censor, fired and fined immediately. I would call this the Free Speech Restoration Act. With free speech restoration, we have to do something because Donald Trump said 8 or 10 ways to defeat the deep state. There's another one. It's probably going to hurt Trump's feelings because he has Truth Social. I've never been on Truth Social. How do we get the mainstream media and the CIA separated? We have to stop the NDAA that Barack Obama put in that said that the government can lie to the people. That has to be executive ordered, canceled out. We got to remove that. We have to break the ties between government and social media. The CIA can no longer be allowed to operate. They're not allowed to operate in America. Let's start there. They're not allowed to operate, and they've been doing it. The PSYOPs they run in other countries, they ran here. The president of Brazil, they illegally and unlawfully removed him just like they did Trump. They stole the election, and then they put him in prison because he was like Trump. He was trying to free Brazil. So they have to be punished. These people that did this have to be punished. Also, this is what may hurt Donald Trump. I don't agree with hardly anything that Great Britain has done. But we've done it too. What did we do? We outlawed the advertisement of what? Cigarettes and cancer-causing products. Well, almost. We have to outlaw Big Pharma from advertising. That right there cuts the head, removes the head from the snake when it comes to media. Carrying the water for Big Pharma. CNN cannot and will not report truthfully on the COVID vaccine when Pfizer funds every single commercial. Fox News will not report accurately when Pfizer funds every show for Sean Hannity. Sorry, it don't work. We have to stop. No more. Big Pharma, you're not allowed anymore. You're not allowed to advertise. Sorry. It's too much. We need to rescind. I guess you could mix this with the Free Speech and the Health Accountability Act. We need to have a either a panel of judges to decide or just automatically rescind the protections for Pfizer for the people that were forced to vaccinate. In the small writing, it says, you cannot hold us responsible for killing you. Nope. Those people were forced under duress to put poison in their veins, and that is unlawful in America. The Supreme Court ruled it's unlawful, so let the lawsuits begin. There's already thousands in Great Britain suing, in other countries. I think in New Zealand as well. No more. Big Pfizer, you're done. Let's go back, because I'm spitballing here. The Free Speech Accountability Act. We got to go back to Mr. Google. Google and Facebook, we're going to break you into a million pieces. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. You got to break up. You're too big. New regulations. Whatever regulations that they have that says that they can be a distributor and an editor. No, I forget the numbers of the act. You don't have that federal protection any longer. That protection's out the window. Not only are you going to get fined for censoring people, you're going to be required. You are built in America, started in America. You are an American company. You are required to follow the Constitution of the American people. Sorry. So whatever you do, Google, you need to be split up. You got to go different directions. Nope, you're too big. We got to break that. We got to cut. We got to separate that steak into 5 different parts. Because Google is controlling elections all over the world. No more. We need to have an independent agency that goes through all of their algorithms and look at the information of how they uploaded their algorithm. Because every algorithm has got a bias to it. No more. You have been trusted too long. I didn't trust you to begin with. Because listen, anything a senator or congressman does on his Google knows it. So if there's a Democrat senator out there with trans porn on his phone, Google knows it, and all they got to do is just send the search history back. Hey, look what we found on your phone. Why am I the only one thinking about this? This is insane. I mean, it is a bleeding, gushing wound of blackmail that Google has over the whole country, over the whole world. Google has a blackmail wound that's bleeding profusely, and nobody's stopping it. So, I'm going to go back and watch this again and write down all my points. The Free Speech Accountability Act, the Immigration Accountability Act, is that what we're going to call it? I'm going to get all of it together, and I want you guys to help me push it, because you know this has to be done. What's happened the last 15 to 16 years cannot be allowed to happen again. Like, share, let this video go. Please, guys, for once, share my videos. Share it far and wide. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. Share it everywhere. And let's get some momentum to tell Donald Trump we're not going to put up with it. We put him there to do a job, and that's to protect us. Everything I just told you is going to protect us from the people that want to control us. Like, share, and subscribe. God bless.